But yeah, I know you love Mike,
Yeah,
and Mike peaked in his 20s. So when you're, but people always say what you're saying, that happened because of life. So
yeah, I mean, I guess you can call him a prime example.
Right.
You know, so when you go through life, depending on how you go through it, everybody says, I think you might even say yesterday that the ring is the true pill or something like that.
I said, you're a truth serum.
Oh, me?
You're gonna know. Yeah, you are.
Well, as my dad has said to me, the ring will tell the truth. You know, so I think if anything, it wasn't a matter of Mike making it to a certain point and not being able to maintain or advance. I think it was a matter of him making it to a certain point, and everything that he had been through and going through kept him where he was at, you know, so good answer.
It wasn't that he was physically not able, it was all the stuff around him in his life.
Yeah, that takes a toll on your physical as well.
Right.
It 100% takes a toll on your physical, and if you look at him now, I'm going to say what I've heard and what I've seen for myself a little bit. He's in a much better place, and you see every video that he puts out right now, he looks explosive, he looks like the same old Mike. Obviously, you have to figure in life, and you have to figure in things like his age and science and things and so forth. You know he more than likely can't make it a 3-minute round and do the things that he used to do, but in a much better place in life, you see some emulations of what he used to be.
Right. So should he stay away from coming back and doing the exhibition and stuff? No?
I think Mike should do whatever makes Mike happy, whatever makes Mike comfortable, and whatever Mike is able to do. If they're able to set something up for him to shine, because he's gonna shine, something about Mike, you know, a lot like me, he's just different. He has this ability to shine no matter what. And if he's put in a position where he's able to shine, he will do just that. And I think everyone will be happy and pleased with whatever they see.
Now, I know, like you said, for 3-minute rounds, so he can't, realistically really get in a professional fight with a top 10 guy. But in terms of just the heat he's throwing, his power, you still think he's punching as hard in his 50s as anyone in heavyweight right now, like Joshua? Or
I'm going to give you the educated guess / my educated opinion. He is who he is. He's built his body up to be what it was, what it is now. So he has to be punching with some type of velocity that he once had.
Right.
Because his body is his body, especially if he's working out and doing things to condition his body. Oh yeah, it's very possible he can get back to punching as hard as he was punching when he was 20 years old.
And today,
Wade, would you agree with that?
Totally agree.
I totally agree.
I add something onto that way. Will you agree with this? But being able to sustain it
is the problem.
Endurance is not there where it once was. Life is taking that away.
Life is taking that away, and also life being age and years is taking it away.
a lot of time.
But yeah,
well, I think a lot of times when you talk about life with Mike, you're talking about a whole bunch
drugs,
of stuff.
alcohol.
Your average dude, or your maybe out of top 10 fighter, and you only doing the 4 rounds with Mike, you in trouble. 4 rounds? 4 rounds, you in trouble.
He's gonna give you hell. He gonna give you hell.
4 rounds, you going to sleep.
Craziest thing, how old is he?
54.
54. And at 54, he more than likely still has that intimidation factor that he had when he was 20.
Right.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
At 54, I guarantee you 80% of fighters out there are still intimidated.
You didn't see that, Mr. Wade?
Shoot.
Oh, I'm gonna stop. Crazy.
Well, he got it, trust me.
Get up out of here, Pee-wee. Get up out of here. Hey, come on, Pee-wee. Get up out of here, Pee-wee.
Get up out of here, Pee-wee.
Come on, Pee-wee.
Come on, Pee-wee. Get up out of here, Pee-wee.
Am I missing a movie
I
reference?
just want to know, man. Man, I need to
Get
know.
up out of here, Pee-wee.
I offered somebody $1,000 to find out what's going on with Pee-wee.
Pee-wee dead.
Need
Get up
help?
out of here, Pee-wee.
Nah.
What reference am I missing?
There's a video out where there's these people down in the South.
He good.
They're mud. What would you call that, Wade? Mud.
A mud hole. It was a sticky mud hole in the country.
And
full
what
of
are
water.
they doing? They on 4-wheelers.
They're on 4-wheelers
mudding. They're on 4-wheelers mudding, and the first person who's in it, the video is them telling them, "Get them out of there, Junebug. Get them out of there, Junebug." and it's a lady, and she didn't know how to get out of that mud hole. They got her out, and as soon as she comes out, Pee Wee comes in. Pee Wee comes in with speed, power, all that. He goes down, and because it's more than likely his first time doing it, they said, "Get out of there, Pee Wee." But Pee Wee was on his way out. Pee Wee, and then he punched it, and when he punched it, he did a wheelie. First time being on it, did a wheelie, and then when he came down, he came down and hit another 4-wheeler and went flying. And in the video, that's how they is down there. He said in the videos, "Get him out of here, Pee Wee! Get him! Oh, hold on, Pee Wee, slow down!" Oh, Pee Wee did.
He did.
Call 911.
Call 911.
Call 911.
Call 911. Hey, what state was this going down in?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
No, you had
definitely
it.
the
Down south?
You know, yeah, because
You had it.
you can hear it from their
You had it.
you can hear it from their accents as well as the area that don't look
Down
like
south somewhere.
it could be anywhere else.
Told you. Told you. That was easy.
No,
work.
there was a hole that had my tire up in the air.
Oh, that's what
So
it
the
was.
tire wasn't touching the ground to get no grip.
Got it.
So I
you
had
up,
to put
huh?
that,
Picked you up.
I had to put that down there.
I never seen that. Can't afford to get picked up
You know what's crazy with Mike though
in
is
the airport.
we good.
No, it was fine.
What's crazy with Mike though is like, you know, to people that know boxing, they know the Holyfields and all the fighters. Mike's just another great fighter, but to the public, they can't get over him. It's like anytime he, just a glimmer of him hitting the mitts, and he gets more news than everybody.
I would say the boxing world has been blessed enough. Your car. I would say the boxing world has been blessed to have two iconic fighters that will never be forgotten. That's Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson.
Is he overrated at all,
Something's
yo?
hanging on my
Wade.
Wait, what? I ain't sit there.
You can stay in here.
Oh, I can? Okay, cool. Let me get over to the other. All right, so I'm ready for you to maybe get mad at me with this one.
No, go for it.
Is Mike maybe a little overrated?
Oh yeah, I heard you just say that.
Yeah, just because. Well, damn, we don't care about Evander Holyfield like that. We don't care about a lot of fighters who maybe have won more titles than Mike like that. Why? Is it fair that the public will forever have this infatuation with him that they don't have with other champions?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay.
There's something about Mike that really resonated with people in the late 80s, through the 90s, and even when he was on his way out in the 2000s, people couldn't wait to see him. They couldn't wait to see what Mike Tyson showed up, and that's just, it is what it is. The world was fascinated by him, and they still are. I think he deserves all of that, especially given everything that he's been through. Take away everything he's been through, would I still say that about him? Yes, because people still adore him. Something about Mike.
Was it just like he just for that short period of time in the late 80s, was he really that great?
In my personal opinion, he was.
Right.
I don't have the view that other people may have had of seeing him train, seeing him get in and out of the ring, seeing everything that happened before the ring, happened after the ring. I didn't have the luxury of seeing all of that. I can speak for myself that my team knows, my family knows, people that are close to me know. I think you may even know that you see a lot of things that happen between the training camp, the fight, and after the fight that make what the Porters do, the Porter way, it makes it special.
Right.
And I'm sure there were some things that he did throughout his career that made everything that he did in the ring that we saw very special.
With Cuss, the Amato, and them guys.
Yeah.
Oh. Kenny, you think so too? Though there's no because you were there when he was at his peak. He deserves every bit of credit he gets, even if it means outshining some other champions who, like I said, maybe won more titles than him, stuff like that.
Yeah, I believe so. And you know, for anybody who says things like, well, this guy was not that good that he fought, or that guy was not that good that he fought, that's boxing. The fighter, very rarely, I haven't heard any stories where the fighter just totally was able to pick every guy he wanted to fight. So the fighter's not in control of that. That's boxing that's in control of that. That's the machine that's behind it. That's the promoters and the management that's behind it. And so they designed a career, and the career that they designed is the one that you look at when you go back and you turn on the tapes. You look at the videos of his fights. It was a designed career. All boxers have designed careers, right?
Right.
That's just the truth. Some of them have a very hard way to go, but it's part of where they were at in their life and who they were affiliated with that put them in that situation. Some of them have, we look at a guy just last night with 13 knockouts and just all of them in the first round, and he's 14th knockout in the first round. I don't care what you say or who you talking to, it's designed. That's designed for him to get those knockouts in the first round. It's as simple as that. There's no way around that. What happens to him further down his career and how people take him and say what his career is, we won't know that until he starts to get up into those later round fights.
Right.
And then we'll find out. The guy that had the record, Tyrone Brunson, 20-some knockouts in the first round, all of that was designed. His management, his promoters always found the right guy that he could stop in the first round. It's just the way it is. So we're not talking about NFL where you get a schedule ahead of the season starting, and you know all the teams you're going to play and how good those teams are going to be or how bad those teams are going to be is not predictable until you actually start playing the season. Okay, if you played a team last year and that team didn't win any games, you probably got a good idea that team's not going to win a lot of games this year. But if you got a couple of playoff teams on your schedule, then you know you got tough games ahead of you. You don't get that in boxing.
Right.
You don't get any of that in boxing. So they have to design who you fight. Just the way it is. So no, I believe he gets all the credit, and he should get all the credit. And just like any other guy let's go with Julio Cesar Chavez.
Right.
How many wins in a row?
He was like 89-0, I believe. Yeah.
At 89, he was 89. Trust me, that was by design. That was not just by his skill. That was by design. I personally know at least one of those guys that he fought along the way, right? And the guy wasn't that good. So Chavez still has to do what he has to do on fight night.
You used to get your cab rides from him once in a while?
No, I wouldn't say that. But I'm from Ohio.
Right.
So Don King's camp was out there.
Right.
So Don King had Chavez at one time. And a lot of the guys on Chavez's record were Don King fighters.
Right.
It's business.
Right.
It's by design. So, yeah, I believe Mike Tyson, every accolade he ever got and every accolade he continues to get, he's deserving of it. Because he was not in the sport of the NFL where he had a schedule laid out and he knew who he had to go up against. It's just the way it is.
And Tony Tucker and some of them guys were pretty good too. So.
Yeah. And that intimidation factor helped him a lot too.
Yeah, intimidation factor.